Alright guys, we've got yet another video that has just been released. Well, actually 12 hours ago. It was 9 a.m. this morning and I just discovered this video showing yet another angle of what happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we're going to watch this together and react to it and discuss it. And then I'm going to show you some peaceful protesters, mostly peaceful protesters, and what they were proposing that they're going to do in response to the ICE agents and their activities. And then I'm going to share with you some of the people that these folks who are protesting, who they're actually protecting. I want to get your thoughts about that clip. And then we're going to end it with our favorite gal of Minnesota, and that would be none other than Ilhan Omar, describing the incident. So we're going to watch all of these clips and then listen to Ilhan Omar and what she has to say, how she describes the situation after you've been exposed to what I'm about to show you. So anyway, shout out to Dwayne Mansell. Dwayne had a good comment on the last video, dissenting from the video that I talked about, where I was sharing what Nate the lawyer had shown. And Dwayne made a good point. He said that I need to check out some of these videos of these defense attorneys and look at some other angles and present those things. So Dwayne has a homework assignment. He's going to share with me some links to those videos, and then we'll talk about those. So thank you, Dwayne. And see, this is what makes the community good. We don't want just people agreeing with everything. We need dissent. And Dwayne is one of the best people out there that can have discussions and dissent, and we can argue about stuff sensibly. And so I appreciate that for having his input. So thank you, Dwayne. All right, so let's just jump straight to the video, and we're going to react to this together. I'm going to try to adjust the volume where I don't get much feedback, and forgive me, there's no practice here. This is just on the fly. Okay, so this is a 3.5-minute video that was released by Homeland Security, and we're going to watch it, and I'm going to share my thoughts, and then maybe share your thoughts too in the comments after viewing this. Here we go. All right, so here's where we start out, and I've got the volume turned down really low, but you can hear the honking, the whistles blowing. And the first question that I'd love you to comment on is, do you think it's okay that people do this noise distraction thing where we honk horns, laying on horns and blowing whistles while federal agents are trying to do their job? Is that okay? Do we have a right to do that? Is that a good thing? Let me know in the comments. Is that okay? So they're panning down the street. I'm going to kind of fast forward through this a little bit and try to get to the good part. There she is right there. So check this out. She's parked in the street perpendicularly. Now she's not doing a U-turn. And I know some people said, well, she's just trying to turn the car around, or, you know, just off to pick up her kids or whatever. But she's sitting here perpendicularly in the street. Car is in park and it's not moving, and she sprawled out across the whole street. What are your thoughts about that? Is it okay to do this? And would you think that this would be all right if you blocked streets perpendicularly anytime you see law enforcement arriving at a crime scene, or highway patrol, or the sheriff's department? Is this legal? Should this be allowed? And is this a peaceful protest? Let me know. Let's continue on. And then you're going to see some significant things that are going to happen that kind of open my eyes here and changes the way that I view this yet again. So they pan down. I'm going to try to just flip forward a little bit. There's not much there. So now when we look at a certain point, and you can watch this whole thing on the Homeland Security website yourself, but what you're going to notice is something very peculiar, and it's the fact that the car moves a few times where she's no longer stationary. And then the other significant thing that you're going to see is that she was actually waving traffic to go through. So first she's stationary, and then you're going to notice where she moves the car back, and then she's telling people, yeah, you can get through, you come through, you come through. She's directing traffic, but then moves her car where the ICE agents, you see that's an ICE agent vehicle. She moves the car again, and doesn't let them get through. So is that okay? So there she is. You can see the car sitting right there in the street, not moving. And then at some point, they go back and forth here. And like I said, watch the whole video. I don't want to take up too much time. You'll see it where she's waving traffic through. She's letting traffic get through. Stop coming up there, you stupid pop-up. All right. Here we go. Now they're going to pan back up. And there she is again. And people are going through, and she's waving traffic to go on by. I don't know I don't know how to view that. What do you think about that? You're waving the traffic through, but then you move your car when the ICE agents are coming through. So they've apprehended somebody, an illegal, and they're trying to get out of there and take that person to jail or wherever the ICE detainment center is. But then she moves her car whenever the ICE agents get close by, and she's not going to let them get through. There she is moving the vehicle, and then there you see the officer walking around the car. And that's something else that's significant, because as the story goes, you know, it was supposed to be that he was just standing in front of the car. Now see, she's still moving. There she is waving. She was waving people on, and now the ICE agent's vehicle is there. They're walking around the car, and so there she's moving it again. And then, of course, we know how it ended after that. So here's the question that I have about that video. After she stops the car, do we now have a no-enter zone where the ICE officers or any law enforcement, they're not allowed to stand in front of her car because she's established, this is my spot and I'm not going to move? Even though she was moving her car around. Does that mean that she owns that territory now where no officers can stand in front of the car? Is that okay? I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of sitting here wondering. So they're trying to do a job, or you got some police officers on a scene. Is this the new rule? Okay, so since it's not proper policy that you're supposed to stand in front of a car, yeah. So does that mean that now this is a tactic that people can use? Park your car and you know that you've got a zone that you can prevent officers from entering, which would, of course, allow people to get away. So what are your thoughts on that? And now that we know that, okay, he wasn't standing in front of the car, he was circling the car because she was standing there. Share your thoughts on that. All right, so now let's go to the first video clip. We're going to check out some peaceful protesters, and then we're going to react to that. So let's cut to the clip.
Take a look at what happened this morning in Minneapolis.
People need to fucking show up with guns to face you guys. It's fucking time for an armed resistance against the United States of America.
Take your mask off,
This is done. We're done. You're fucking murderers. You shot a woman in a wheelchair.
mask off, bitch boy.
We need to fucking come back with fucking weapons. Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it, and fucking face you guys man to man.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that? That's a nice peaceful protest. I apologize for the foul language, but I wanted you to get the full effect of it. Is that okay? Is that a peaceful protest? He's just talking. I mean, he didn't have a gun. Is that all right? Or would that be considered assault? Now, can you can curse. I guess you can curse out the ICE officers or law enforcement, but what are your thoughts? Do you think it's all right to make a statement that you're going to go gather up a group of vigilantes and come back with guns and do what he said? Is that okay? And what does this do for the whole peaceful protesting thing? We have a right to protest, but do we have a right to get in the way of law enforcement? And do we have a right to threaten law enforcement officers? And if you're an officer, how do you know whether or not somebody's going to carry out a threat like that? How do you determine? Can you get into a person's mind, read their mind, and say, this guy's bluffing? Or be able to tell when they're going to carry it out? Now, do you remember what happened in Texas several months ago where the group of 10 people set up an ambush? And they set off a bunch of fireworks so they could get the agents to respond. And after they responded, they unloaded weapons. And they had rifles. I can't remember if anybody lost their life, but there were certainly officers that got hit. So how do you know if this guy is going to carry that out or if he's just bluffing? Let me know in the comments. How do we know that it's not going to end up like an incident like what we saw in Texas? Okay, so let's see here. I think I got one more clip to share. I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, that's it. So now let's cut to the next to final clip, and I'm going to show you some of the people that these protesters are protecting. Cut to the clip.
You have an individual from Laos, illegal alien convicted of violent sexual assault of minors. A Salvadoran convicted of 3 counts of homicide. Another Laos convicted of sexual assault of a girl under 13 years old and procuring a minor for prostitution. You have a Mexican illegal convicted of homicide, a Sudanese illegal convicted of homicide, another Mexican national convicted of sexual assault of a child. You've got a Somalian citizen, illegal immigrant convicted of homicide, and the list goes on and on. This is just a sampling of those. And by the way, Laken Riley would have turned 24 yesterday, but her life was taken by an illegal immigrant allowed into this country from Venezuela.
All right, so a nice little bunch. Now, what are your thoughts on that? Are they just cherry picking? Is this just a very small percentage of the people that are illegals, and they're only showcasing that to make it look bad? Or what? And then how do you know what the background of illegals are? And so if they're here illegally, not like, say, what Devori Darkins made a good point once where he was talking about, hey, when you overstay your visa, that's a misdemeanor. That's a civil offense. But if you entered the country illegally and never had a green card, a work permit, or whatever, that's a federal offense. So what are your thoughts about that? Is it a good thing that the peaceful protesters are protecting the people like what you just saw on that screen? All right, final clip. Let's cut to this clip and show you Ilhan Omar. And let's listen to her description about what happened. Cut to the clip.
But do you see from the recordings that we see, is there anything that you believe was being done that should not have been done by Macklin Good? The administration says she was blocking the road. They are claiming this is an act of terrorism.
Yeah, Renee Nicole Good, as you hear her say, she's not mad. She's sitting in her car, peacefully waving cars to get by. This agent, as you see, gets out of his car, automatically starts running towards her, trying to open her door. She feels scared. She tries to turn the wheel away. And then you see the other officer, who can clearly see the car is moving, move towards the front of the car, which, if they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car.
Okay, so what do you think of that? She was not mad, just sitting in her car, peacefully waving for cars to get by. And she was just scared when she peeled out. She was just scared. So after watching the 3.5-minute video and those other clips, what are your thoughts? What's your reaction to Ilhan Omar? Funny how they asked the advice of someone who is at the epicenter of a $9 billion fraud scandal. And then she's talking like she's an expert on proper law enforcement procedures. So again, is there this no enter zone now for law enforcement officers? Well, you can't stand in front of a car. So that's against the procedures there. So sorry, once she parks her car sideways in the street, we've got a no enter zone for all of the law enforcement officers. I don't know. So just share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be curious to know, and I'll look forward to getting the links from you, Dwayne, and we'll look at the other side of the story. But for now, tell me what you think of this stuff. That's all I got for this one. I'm out.